With few days left to the controversial #EndBadGovernance protest, senior government officials continue to advocate for dialogue with sections of the populace, lamenting the difficulties they face due to the twin policies of petrol subsidy removal and unification of the exchange rate. The top government functionaries maintain that the faceless nature of the protest has continued to worry the federal government for fears of the protest getting hijacked or getting marred by violence. Constructive Sagir Ibrahim brings details in this report.
While interacting with Otega Ogra, a senior special assistant to the president on digital media, he expressed worry over the spate of insightful comments currently awash on social media. Mr. Ogra says this, coupled with the fact that organizers of the mass demonstration have remained faceless, has made it difficult for the government to engage them and address their demands.
It's guaranteed in the Constitution for every Nigerian, to speak or, civil dissent. The Constitution guarantees that. But at the same time, it is very important to note that there's a very thin line between civil dissent and violent, demonstrations. And that's what we're saying. The government is basically saying you have a right, to go out on the streets to protest if you want to. But in a situation where it has been said in the open on various platforms, everywhere, on Twitter, on Facebook, someone runs an online radio doing the same thing, that this is about destruction. This is about rage. This is about them attacking things. People have come out to say, oh, they are going to make Nigeria worse than Kenya.
Also, lawmakers who bore their minds on the development say that while the current administration admits that the country faces economic challenges, they precede the lifespan of the current government and would require the collective effort of all and sundry to address.
We believe that the government of President Tinubu has been telling us in Nigeria that yes, there's problem, and we know there's problem, and that problem does not start today. The problem had always been there, and then the government said, we know there's problem, we admit there's problem, and we know that a problem no is half solved, and that we are now dead serious in making sure that we solve those problems, especially economic problems, which has occasioned maybe the rising cost of living in Nigeria, especially food.
Of course, it is enshrined in our constitution, the right to freedom of assembly, protest, but it has to be peaceful. The qualification has to be there. So every Nigerian has the right to express their grievances with respect to government policies, government implementation that are at variance with their core expectation. It is ingrained in them to do that. But in doing that, you must show the part of peace that your freedom to express your grievances does not in any way inhibit other people's right. So it's a welcome development. They've sent their messages, and we at the end of leadership, we are equally receiving it, and we are doing something practical about it.
With barely a week left to what intends to be a 10-day marathon protest starting August 1, questions have begun to emerge around the motive and outcome of the planned nationwide picketing and whether it would yield its intended results. So far, leaders of many segments of society, including state governors, traditional rulers, religious leaders, and even student unions, among others, have spoken against the rally. Sagir Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Abuja.